Alright, I'm live, guys.
Like his video.
Alright, so in a few minutes, I'm going to be watching live sheep shearing here at the Tunbridge Fair in Vermont. So stay tuned. This should be pretty cool. I've never seen this before, only done on other videos. So live right here, right now, sheep shearing, Tunbridge, Vermont, Tunbridge Fair.
Probably not worth $10.
It's not very good. You can fix it. Or you can take it out if you don't want. I just want to play with your hair. It's a tiny cut.
Dude, you're shaking.
Someone's watching.
Someone's watching.
Dude, you're shaking.
Alright, so I guess they're just about ready to start shearing the sheep. So this will be pretty interesting. They got, like I said, right over here, we got our sheep to be sheared. Sheep to be sheared. Oh, my follower left.
Weird.
Bye-bye.
Sheared.
I'm gone.
Sheep to be sheared.
He's like, I'm gone. Yeah, what's it called?
What's that?
For your when you live stream. What app? What's it called?
Live stream.
But what?
My
These
channel.
bad boys.
My normal channel.
Yeah, but is it app for live stream?
Yeah.
Those bad boys.
I can get live stream.
Oh.
That have.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. We have 5 minutes until our sheep shearing program. We're going to shear 4 sheep this afternoon. We've got different breeds of sheep to look at. So take a seat. We're going to get started with our sheep shearing program in about 5 minutes.
I might stop my show. Oh, people are coming in. So we're looking at about 5 minutes out before we get to the sheep shearing.
Do we need to squish down for people?
I'm not sure if we do or not. I think we're pretty tight.
You can put my knee in his back a few
Mine
times.
won't load.
You like that? The knee in your back? Oh, you're good. Thank you.
Every time I see someone watching it live for like a couple of seconds, I'm like, oh.
It'll be more exciting once she actually starts sharing.
And then flip to the next thing. Oh, I'm done. Oh, I'm sick of this. Okay, I'm going next one.
Just say we're gonna have a phone.
She does, but
I think most
maybe you can text Sylvia.
Right, gotcha.
But I don't. If Sylvia doesn't know.
All right, we're moments away from the event of sheep shearing. So if you're interested in checking that out, we're at the Tunbridge Fair in Tunbridge, Vermont. Moments away here.
Consistently supported the sheep and goat programs and this program in particular. If you are local, I promise you membership will pay off very quickly. If you're out of town, it's a place to get to a number of great local farms. Hurricane Flats is a diversified organic farm in Royalton. Right now they have late watermelons in season, so stop on by. That's a treat this time of year, especially with weather like this. The Vermont sheep with hopefully you enjoy what we're doing here. Come talk to me after the program about how you can help us next year. That said, please join me in welcoming Mary Lake. Mary is a shearer right here in Tunbridge. She shears all over.
Why should Bandit up here on your like? Oh.
Yes. I love this thing. I wish I had one at home. I wear it all the time. Go get your laundry! Hi, thanks for coming. I'm Mary Lake. I live like 3 miles down the road. I have a sheep farm of my own, but I make my living as a sheep shearer, and I do on-farm slaughter as well. But not at the same time, keep them separate. Shearing and slaughtering, 2 different. Okay. So today I'm going to show you a little bit of machine shearing and a little bit of blade shearing, which I just started last year, about this time last year. And I have been shearing with the machine since 2008. So I guess that's like 16 years. And go to about 300 farms around the areas. In Vermont, New Hampshire, New York, a little bit of Maine, and that comes out to be like 4,000 sheep a year, which it sounds like a lot, but like for a sheep shearer, it's actually not really that many. But shearing in the Northeast is just a little bit different than shearing in other parts of the world. If I was a shearer out west, I'd be on a crew, and we would go to a farm that has about 10,000 sheep, and stay there for a week or so, and shear them all, and then drive 400 miles to the next closest sheep farm, shear there for a couple weeks. So being a shearer in the Northeast, I get to make my own schedule, I get to have kids and farm, and do all the things I want to do, and still be a sheep shearer. So it's pretty special. I learned how to shear at Shelburne Farms at the Vermont Shearing School, and that was back in 2008. And now I lead that school and organize it, which is really heartwarming and special. And the best thing about the Vermont Sheep Shearing School is that the ratio of teachers to students is about 2 to 1, which is unlike most shearing schools. It's like 1 instructor for like 10 or 20 students. And if you've ever tried sheep shearing, it's like not something you want to do without holding the hand of somebody else at the same time. It's kind of scary and hard. So when I did the Vermont Shearing School as a student, there was kind of this all-star roster of people teaching. And there was a woman from Quebec who still shears. She was there with her 9-year-old son. Now I have a 9-year-old son and a 6-foot son. But back then, the thought of kids was not in my head. But after watching her shear, I was kind of like, I want to be a mom and a shearer. But she had her 9-year-old on her back, and he was holding the handpiece, and she was doing the footwork, and it was to show us how you're doing 2 very different things at the same time. So the pattern or the footwork that I'm going to do shearing is separate from like what I'm doing with my hands and the actual clipping of the wool. But you have to do them together to be efficient and safe when you're shearing. So the first sheep that I'm going to shear, I'm going to do it with the machine. And you're going to see me kind of do this dance with the sheep. It's the same dance I do every time I shear. And what that dance does, or what that pattern does, is it stretches the sheep out so that I can safely run the clippers along their skin without cutting their skin. So my objective is to take the wool off, to have it all be in one piece, like all connected, not in a bunch of chunks, and to do it swiftly and to do it calmly and without harming sheep. So this is my comb right here, this flare tooth comb. It's smooth on this side and sharp and thin edge on this side. So it grabs up the wool, and then the cutter, it's going to go, this 4-point cutter is going to go back and forth very fast. So this is my motor, which spins and runs some gears, and the gears make this go back and forth. So the man that designed this is an Aboriginal from Australia, and I can't remember his name, but you should look him up. And he's also on the $50 note, Australian dollar. And he also helped invent the helicopter. You should totally fact check that though. But I thought that was a cool story. So we're gonna do that, and then I'll show you a little bit of blade sharing. Okay. Sometimes nicks do happen. So sometimes, you know, like when you're using scissors to cut paper, and if you have, depending on the scissors you're using or depending on the paper that you're cutting, it can have different success rates. So sometimes I might nick sheep, and it's just because I'm feeling out what I need to be doing as far as stretching the body out. But the great superpower of sheep is that they are coated in lanolin, so they produce this oil that helps heal their little wounds that they get. Okay, so let's start with this finishing. Autumn rain line. Did you show this sheep? How did she do? She'll make up for it today. This is one that doesn't like a halter. I don't like a halter either. I'm just prepared. Okay, so I'm going to use my body. If I'm kind of pressing into her, I'm actually pressing this way. And she's pressing into me. And then I'll take my foot out from under her. Now you can totally shear a sheep in a stand with them standing up, but you can't get all of these spaces as well as you can when you're sitting them like this. Okay. So I start with the belly, and this patch of wool I'll actually shear and then toss to the side. This belly wool is not like the wool on the rest of the sheep. It's a little bit shorter, a little bit coarser, and often it's like more dirty because they're laying on it and sleeping on it. I'll toss that to the side. Okay. Now I'll work around the side here. Come to the first back leg. And I'm using my legs a lot, so like my legs are really doing a dance here. And you'll see I'm wearing these funny shoes. They're my shearing moccasins. And they're very bunched up at the toe. I'll use my feet while I'm shearing, and often I'll lift my toes up to kind of tell the sheep that I'm there, to help balance the sheep, to help move them into other positions. On the face. Now this is a Finn sheep. They have really beautiful crimpy wool, and they come in lots of beautiful colors. And they have very little wool on their legs and their face. I love this pattern of the gold belly and the brown wool. It's really beautiful.
Just lay there. Look at it.
This position is called the long blow, because you can see I'm taking one really long stroke there. A stroke is also called a blow here. When I was first learning how to shear, and sometimes still nowadays, if I'm having a hard time trying to fall asleep, I'll count my blows. I'll shear sheep in my head and count the blows, and it helps. Get under the armpit. And this is my favorite part. They call this the whipping side when you're really getting going with shearing. This part is done in like 4 seconds. And the whole rest of the pattern you've set up to make this just go super fast and smooth. Go. Okay, here's this beautiful sheep.
Fingers up its butt.
Okay, so here's the fleece off of the sheep. Now, a lot of times fleeces don't actually connect together really well. This breed tends to fall apart a little bit more, but I can kind of do this. Not really, but excuse me. I think it's like all the dust is like so makes it so hard to talk and everything. Last year I started blade shearing and I started competing in sheep shearing. Which that same first day where I sheared sheep for the first time, there was that lady from Quebec, but there was also Kevin Ford, and he's a great blade shearer from Massachusetts, and he had this jacket on. It was like U.S.